Hi guys, you already know who this is. And if you watched my video from last time, you already mentioned how I was going to do another update video where I talk about the the new Bachmann products that will be coming out this year for 2018. Well, we were given them, which was, if I can recall, back on Saturday, someone posted a video. In fact, on my YouTube subscriptions, user Chris Thompson, he had a blog describing the new products for this year, and in fact, not only was he disappointed, every user was disappointed. Hell, I was disappointed when I found out what products it was that Bachmann was releasing this year. And I gotta tell you, Bachmann, you had one job. One damn job. And you blew it. You literally blew it. In fact, some objects... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. I'm just gonna be coughing for a bit. Some products were, I guess, alright. At least they were somewhat satisfying, but there were no new models, nothing, completely new. It's just overdone, and I guess some, you could say, are also very, very long overdue. Literally. What the hell, Bachmann? I'm serious. What the hell? What were they thinking? What was going through their minds? Oh, no, wait. I'll tell you what was going through their minds. This. Yeah. That's, me rubbing my fingers means they were thinking money. Cha-ching. Yeah. That was definitely what was going through their minds. But I'm just being a bit harsh, I admit. We're all just, people just working, these days, just trying to make a living. And I know the economy's bad, I get it, but it doesn't excuse the fact that this year's products for the Bachmann Thomas range were just nothing but both cheap and also very disappointing. And now what are their products, you ask? Well, this year we were not given any new engines. No, in fact, none. In fact, this is why I have diesel in front, because their new model is actually another diesel model. It's called Grumpy Diesel, and by Grumpy, it's just diesel with a different expression. Yeah, that's right, a Grumpy Diesel. There's no other new model. And of course, it was obvious that, since last year, and later, hopefully this year when he comes, last year, we were going to be given we were announced that Bachmann would be making Paxton. And I was good, and I was alright with that, because at least Paxton is a likable character, as he's one of my favorite characters in the CGI series. Say what you will, but I really do like him. And making him is pretty obvious. All you just gotta do is repaint Diesel. But yet, here we are, 2018, nothing. It's just Diesel with a grumpy expression. Really, Bachmann? That's it? And in fact, it's nothing new. I didn't think they did different variations of characters. No, actually, scratch that. The only character they ever did different variations of was Thomas. Obviously, because, he is the star-billing bastard. All they ever did for him was the light and sounds, that, I guess, DCC, I think? Yeah, it's that sound... That light and sounds, Bachmann Thomas that, runs around the track and he makes the sound effects from the show. And that Celebration Thomas from when we had the 70th anniversary. That was it. And needless to say, the Celebration Thomas was a pretty bland item. I was expecting them to make the LBSC Thomas. But they didn't. And I guess there are some good reasons, but my God, this was just so absolutely infuriating and disappointing by all measures. Oh, excuse me. Seriously. But I can also say something else about the Grumpy Diesel. Not only is it the fact that it's just Diesel with a different expression, but it's also a diesel, but it's also the right expression this time. Like, because when we were first announced the Bachmann diesel, which I think was back in 2010, I guess. I'm pretty sure. Like, when we were announced diesel the first time, like, we were very excited. At least because we have a very accurate looking model that was so better than the Hornby diesel. And hell, to this day, the Bachmann diesel is easily one of my favorite models, alongside Edward, Donald Douglas, Duck, and Henry. But honestly, the only disappointing fact was not only was the CGI error, because back then we were all complaining about the CGI series, due to the whole Sharon Miller crap, but also because the CGI face they gave him was the wrong expression. We all know that. I mean, we were all disappointed, not only for the fact it was a CGI face, but also they got the wrong personality. Because why do you think they called him Devious Diesel? Oh yeah, because he's an asshole. And would an asshole have this kind of face? Like, all we ever got from the Bachmann diesel, like, while it was a good model, the expression was only just making us think about an engine who loves pink fluffy kittens and getting his buffers manicured. Yeah, you all remember that line from the whole Summersky review, way back in December of 2011. Yeah, and Diesel came out all the way back in 2011, along with Donald and Douglas. But the problem is that here we are, let me think. 7 years later. Yeah, 7 years later, they finally have a diesel model. Like, they make a diesel model who only now has the right expression. That actually captures his sinister, mischievous, and devious face. Oh, yeah. Really smart of you, Bachmann. Real freaking smart. I'm so proud of you. Note my sarcasm. But speaking of long overdue, even the rolling stock, well, okay, somewhat satisfying. Because, for one, the rolling stock that they actually made was, well, no, they actually reintroduced the express coaches. Yeah, that was really, really surprising. I can't believe that only now, in 2018, they re-release Gordon's Express coaches. They only, re-released the green ones, and unfortunately they didn't re-release the red ones, and I guess only because, they don't show up that much. But I can understand why the green ones would be reintroduced. And while I admit it's awesome that we finally have them back, the fact that they were discontinued, both the red and the green ones, in the very first place, was, in my opinion, absolute bullshit. I mean, why? Why did they, discontinue those things? Because the express coaches have been in the series for years, and hell, they're one of the most important rolling stock, because the obvious question, what's the main train that Gordon pulls? Oh yeah, the Express. So yeah, why did they discontinue them? In fact, when did they discontinue? I think they discontinued them in, 2011, I think? Yeah, I think it was 2011. But, really? I mean, seriously. You only decide to re-release them now? I mean, what was the reason they even discontinued them in the first place? Huh? Explain that, Bachmann. Explain that! Oh, excuse me for a second. I gotta go check on something. Hang on. Alright, I'm back. I just had to go check on dinner. Alright, so, what is it? Yeah, so, overall, at least some of the, my overall point, why did they discontinue the express coaches, and only 7 years later, I really don't know, when I still believe it's 2011, they may have, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, why would they only re-release them now? I will never know. Because, honestly, the last thing I'm thinking that's going through Bachmann heads is money. Why can't, like, corporations these days, instead of focusing on focus groups, statistics, and economics, focus on making something that makes, well, people happy and, just, making really cool looking toys? Hey, if I ever had my own company, that's exactly what the hell I'll do. I don't even give a crap about money. But as for, say, the rolling stock, the other rolling stock, that's, the trucks, needless to say, this is really disappointing too. I mean, what the F, Bachmann? Why? Okay, look, I don't mean to sound rude. I'm not trying to... Look, I don't mean to sound angry, but come on. Everything is disappointing. Like, the McColl's cattle wagon that we were, announced last year. I mean, at least the ventilated vans, the Fruit one and the Great Western, at least they're still, they're still active. They actually got released. That's good. Even though the vegetable one is kind of questionable, but they're still pretty cool looking. But the McColl's cattle wagon, even though I wouldn't have cared about it that much, I don't really care if it's canceled. I mean, I don't know why they canceled it. It really doesn't make any sense. But I believe it was going to be a pretty bland item anyway. But aside from that, other things that were also disappointing is these tankers. The Sodor Diesel Company tanker. Now, where have I ever seen that in the show? Oh yeah, never! There was no such thing as the Sodor Diesel Company. Unless you mean the Vickerstown Diesel Works. Oh, but no! That's not exactly what they meant. And the tanker, the water tanker. It's that blue tanker that you see in the CGI series. It's not really my favorite rolling stock in the show. In fact, I don't really like it that much. It's just... Heck, you could carry the water even in just a regular, normal, generic, white or black tanker. But honestly, it's a pretty bland rolling stock, and I can tell you this right now. You won't be seeing this on my layout anytime soon. Because, like, the water tanker's bland, but the Sodor Diesel Company, I mean, what were Bachmann thinking on this? There's no such thing as a Sodor Diesel Company in the show. Because there is no diesel company. Because the diesels are owned by the Fat Controller on the Northwestern Railway. Unless he meant the Vickerstown Diesel Works, but hey, why would I even care anyway? Because I ain't buying that. But they did announce the Spiteful Brake Van, yeah. I know that the Spiteful Brake Van was just a minor character, from Season 2. But hey, at least that's good. Okay, I admit lazy, because all they're just gonna do is just, use their regular brake vans in the range and just slap a frickin' face on it. That's it. In fact, which is funny, because there's a large-scale, Spiteful Brake Van that was even announced even before that. Though I admit, at least it's a classic series character that's been made. Even though he only appeared in just, well, one episode. But that's alright. I can live with that. Because he was going to be easy to make anyway. So, yeah. Overall, the HO range has been nothing but absolutely disappointing. Man, I really got my hopes up, because the last thing I wanted them to make was the Bachmann Daisy model. Hell, maybe even a troublesome tanker. A tanker with a face on. Or a troublesome truck number 6 being like, a vent fan with a face. But did they? Oh no! I mean, making any different rolling stock like, say, troublesome truck 6, or say, any other pretty cool looking rolling stock, I don't really know. But I guess I'm more focused on the engines. Heck, some of the other rolling stock you see in the show, it's simple to make. Instead, they just make these really bland items that they just fished out of the toilet. I mean, like, seriously, I know that, like, Bachmann, is faced, because, the economy's pretty bad, but the last item I would have wanted them to make, the last 3 items would be Boko, Daisy, and, hell, why the hell not, Diesel 10. But no, they had to re-release Diesel, just, giving him a different expression. But hey, look on the bright side. At least they didn't make, characters I really disliked, like, say, Charlie, or Philip. Oh, perish the thought. I mean, I'm gonna lose it if Bachmann makes Philip, because you guys already know on my channel, like, for those of you who have seen my videos, you guys already know by now, I really cannot stand Philip, because he's a mother flippin' idiot. And I don't mean to offend kids, but just the way Philip acts, and I know you guys are gonna get tired of me for ranting, but and also forgive me for, I don't mean to offend anybody that has this disability, but hell, Philip acts a lot like some kid who has a terrible case of ADHD. Oh, man. But at least they didn't make him, because even if they did, you won't see me buying him, or Charlie. Hell, I wouldn't have minded if Bachmann made someone else, like, who's currently in the series, like, say, Stanley, Harvey, Ryan, who else is small? Yeah, hell, since they did, make Paxton, well, they could easily, just repaint Diesel, like, they could easily make Sydney. Hell, I don't give a crap on how worthless they were in the first place, because I kind of have a soft spot for them as Diesel 10's lackeys. Like, what the hell? Make Splatter and Dodge if you want. I mean, they're already making the Spiteful Brake Van, so why not make 2 other more minor characters at least? It's that simple, Bachmann. You could easily do that. Needless to say, their other ranges, their other scales, have been just as disappointing. Oh, excuse me. Like, for one, like, there are no new engines. Yeah, and this is the HON30. There are no new engines this year. And Rusty is still yet to be released. I mean, we only have new rolling stock, which I gotta admit, I'm actually really impressed with. Because I was hoping they would do this. The coaches, yeah. The narrow gauge coaches are being made. The red ones and the blue ones. I'm pretty impressed by that. But, oh, they had to take, like, 3 years later, ever since they started this range, they could have easily done them. But honestly, they didn't. No, in fact, they didn't even think of. I mean, at least they are, but engines this year, they could have at least done one. Oh, excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. They could have at least done somebody, like, say, oh, I don't know, Duncan or Peter Sam. I mean, yeah, they could have made Sir Handel later, and I would have preferred if they made, Duncan or Peter Sam first, as those two are, very popular on the scale of the narrow gauge engines. And I would have waited later for, say, either, Sir Handel or Victor or Luke and Millie. I know they're not really going to make Duke anytime sooner because, well, obvious reasons. But it's alright, because, I mean, I always love, the Bondi, text, the ones that Topka's Fat made, and even Cactus 190, Cactus has them, but alright, I'm being biased. I'm sorry, guys. But honestly, they could have at least just made one engine. And I don't know. I mean, you could have announced it. And I know Bachmann always takes, like, only a year later or whatever. I mean, hell, they were even disappointing even before these announcements. Like, when we were announced Oliver in 2015. Oh, excuse me. Alright, just one of my folks is back home. But, alright, let's just get back to business. I wouldn't have minded if they did Duncan or Peter Sam, but I don't know why they didn't even think of doing them. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, maybe economic reasons, but honestly, they really let us down. No Duncan, no Peter Sam, honestly. But even if that wasn't bad, even the G-scale range, I'm not really too big of a fan of the G-scale range, I admit, but I will tell you this, it's really disappointing. Like, I'm serious, really, really disappointing. Why, you ask? Well, I'm just gonna get to it. Like, because we were supposed to be, given the Bachmann diesel, and oh, whoops, I got off topic, I forgot. But you know what, I'll just save it for later. We were going to be given the Bachmann diesel when it was announced last year, but we never got that. I don't know why they discontinued it. Maybe it was too hard to make. Either way, where I am just really frustrated with this right now. Like, in fact, for some reason, the Thomas Wiki is saying that for 2018, a Grumpy diesel will be made, which I would have hoped for, but then I found on the catalog that's not going to happen. What information am I seeing on this site? It makes no sense. Alright, now, so yeah, the G-Scale range has been just as disappointing. A real disappointment. Like, all they have are just that stupid water tanker again, the toffee tanker, and the chocolate syrup tanker. Yeah, 3 new tankers. Not making me feel better. You've really let us down this year, Bachmann. I get it, you're all just, working hard because the economy's bad, but you could have at least tried something. And yeah, I guess making bigger engines like Daisy or Boko would be hard, but it would have been really nice to see them. I really hope for next year in 2019 that could happen, but if it doesn't, then I'm going to piss myself with rage. I mean, I'm just going to be really even more disappointed, but I won't let that ruin my life. This is even before that. Bachmann was pretty I know the economy was bad, but Bachmann was pretty disappointing with their range before. Like, when we're announced, a different engine, we only take a year later until it's finally released. Like, but when Oliver was announced back in 2015 along with Toad only came out in 2016. And then Oliver, on the other hand, came out in 2017, last year, and 2 flippin' years after he was announced. But it's alright, because the Bachmann Oliver isn't really one of my favorite models anyway. But all the same, I really am very, very disappointed. But if there's anything good I'll say, I will make more videos soon, like those books reviews and what else? Oh yeah, I didn't want to do this originally, but for a limited time only, I am going to do the character profile series, just one, like a special limited edition episode, if you will. Yeah, it will only be 1 episode and that's it. Only because I've had this kind of character on my mind for quite some time. Now, which character, you ask? Well, I'll let you know about it when that episode comes. But, yeah, don't expect me to do character profiles so much, because I want to do other videos, but I only decided to do this, because, well, this character's been on my mind for a while, and I thought I'd just talk about it. And what else? Well. But I do have other videos planned. Good videos. So, I'm sorry if I came off angry on this. It's just, I got my hopes up a lot. In fact, we all did. But there's more to life than just that. Besides, if you dwell on something you hate, it'll just only make things worse. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, everybody.